You know, when the team was planning this conference, there was a lot of conversations about what kind of tone the conference needed to have. We've had this conference on an annual basis, and the team decided that given 2025 and everything that we are experiencing, that we had to approach it with a lot of positive energy and joy, because we need that to continue to do the work that we do. Before I get started, don't you think Dr. Bull is absolutely fabulous? So how many of you know Nina Simone? Okay. She's one of my all-time favorites. Born into the segregated South, 6th of 8 children, in a house full of noise and a piano full of promise. Her fingers flew over the keyboard, jazz, blues, classical, gospel, all fused into one unforgettable voice. In 1969, she said, "An artist's duty is to reflect the times. As educators, our duty is no different. You see, in our work, we use words that have meaning, words like accessibility, inclusion, equity, diversity. We are diversity in the California community colleges." That's an applause line. These words, central to who we are, have become flashpoints in public debate. Having grown up as a Catholic, and I'm still a practicing Catholic, I carry a rosary in my purse. I grew up in Kerala in South India with one best friend who was a Muslim and another who was a Hindu, a Brahmin. I came to see that each of our holy books carried passages of hope and love, words that are so familiar to all of us at the California community colleges, and it is at the heart of our work. Hope and love, that is accessibility. Hope and love, that is inclusion. Hope and love, that is equity. For us at the California community colleges, these are sacred commitments. So yes, these are different times, but like Nina Simone, with struggle and with hope, with faith and with love, given the incredible work being done by the California community colleges, I stand here with you and I say, I am feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. Around the world every day, we witness suffering, violence that pierces our shared humanity. It's a marker of our times. In the news this week, we read about 8-year-old Noor Dalul, killed when missiles struck the building where her family took shelter. A marker of our times. In the news, we read about Emily Damari, who spent 471 days in captivity, full of fear, isolation, and the unknown. Again, a marker of our times. In Ukraine, Victoria Amelina wrote, "Looking at women, looking at war." I'm actually reading that book right now, and I highly recommend it. A missile took Amelina's life at the age of 37. This is personal to me because my daughter actually travels back to Lviv and to Kyiv routinely. She scrubs in and does pro bono surgery, and she's actually going back to Ukraine next month. And here in the United States, we feel the shock of school shootings, the sting of political violence and shootings. news headlines that makes our chest feel tight and instills in us a sense of paralysis. So these moments can make us feel that Nina Simone's "I'm feeling good" sounds naive, and it sounds almost impossible. For me, and for all of us, it is a message of empowerment, and it's a message of action. Action through the sorrow, and action grounded in purpose. As educators, we hold space for grief, and still, we keep on working, because serving students is an act of hope. Every barrier we remove, every bridge we build, every student we lift is a small act of defiance against despair, a daily vote for our future.
And I'm feeling good.
With struggle and with hope, with faith and with love, I stand here with you and I say,
You know how I feel.
I am feeling good.
River running free. You know how I feel. Blossom on the tree. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
All right. So I've got a total of 8 sections for you this morning. It's about 30 minutes. You willing to hang with me? All right. Let's hit section 2 then. We're going to be talking about community engagement. You see, friends, public policy is guided by public values. But today, those values are impacted by powerful market forces and often are drowned out by misinformation that feels real enough to believe. That's why we need consistent, intentional, and systematic efforts to engage with the public, to share information, to create dialogue, to build trust. We need a groundswell of this work. Who can be the catalyst of this work? We know the answer to that. It's the 116 community colleges here in California. And at the national level, I will say, it is America's community colleges. Because when it comes to influencing public policy, no one is more embedded in every community. We are influencers at scale, and we don't need TikTok to do it. We are in every corner of California. We are in every community. We are not distant institutions. We are trusted neighbors. We are woven into the daily lives of the people we serve. Where did the community go when the wildfires hit in Northern California? To their community colleges. Where did the community go during the Palisades and the Eaton fires in Southern California? To the community colleges. And where did the community go during the floods in Central California? To their community colleges. We take care of our communities, and this means more than offering classes. It means trust through presence, sharing information, opening dialogue, and making everyone in the community an educator. We must reach out more, dear colleagues. We must show up more, and we must open our doors more. So people turn to us for degrees, yes, but they also turn to us when they're seeking clarity. They turn to us when they're seeking support, and they turn to us when they're seeking opportunity. We must reclaim and expand what community education means. It's critical literacies, it is economic mobility, it is civil society, and it is the foundation of our democracy. Section 3, Vision 2030 and equity. So our colleges serve, I used to say more than 2.1 million students, but now I'm saying close to 2.2 million students. Terrence told me that last week. Across our colleges, giving us the reach, the infrastructure, and the responsibility to lead the nation in advancing student success and economic mobility with equity at scale. Vision 2030's commitment to equity is unambiguous. It has 3 simple goals, all starting with the word equity. Equity in access, equity in success, and equity in support. Open access is a founding principle. It is a living promise. It is a contract with the people of California. Every time we see a glimmer of anti-access policies emerging to one or the other of our student groups, whether it is our undocumented students or our LGBTQ students, we must push back while also finding new ways to reach out to our students and hold on to them. They are counting on us, colleagues. They're absolutely counting on us. Access and inclusion are a daily decision. Vision 2030 continues this work with our working learners, our student veterans, foster youth, low-income students, students with disabilities. We are the California Community Colleges, with struggle and with hope, with faith and with love. We wake up every morning and go to work for our students and our communities. And this is why I can so confidently tell you that I'm feeling good.
Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
Give it up for our tech team at the back. You guys rock. All right, ready for section 4. We're going to be talking about equity and credit for prior learning. You see, learning lives everywhere, in the workplace, in community service, in military training. Vision 2030 calls on us to honor that truth by giving credit for prior learning. It allows students to receive college credit for the skills and knowledge they already have mastered, helping them reach their educational goals faster and with greater confidence. The data shows that students earning CPL can save an average of 6 to 10 months in their time to degree completion to those without CPL. That's right. We are in the final month of our 2025 Veteran Sprint, which aims at awarding 4 credits or 6 college credits to all 30,000 veterans in our system by processing their military transcripts. And we would like to make this grand announcement on Veterans Day 2025, that's November 11th, when we validate learning, colleagues. Wherever it happens, we actually validate the learner. In this last budget cycle, the governor and the legislature invested $15 million for CPL, and we are well on our way to scaling CPL for our veterans, our apprentices. Equity at scale for our working Californians. And this is why I'm feeling so incredibly good.
Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
So before we roll into section 5, I've got 4 more sections here, I want to give it up for our students, particularly our Student Senate sitting right over here. Please stand up and be recognized. These students are really warriors. They are policy warriors. Just the other day, they were right there with Governor Gavin Newsom on SB 98. And we did a rural tour on the far north colleges, and our students were there with us. We were at Lassen Community College, where students just got a brand new RN program, and they were advocating for AB 1400 for the BSN, and it's right now on the governor's desk. And he always considers our students' voices, the voices of our faculty, our classified staff, our presidents, our chancellors, and our trustees. So if you feel like sending a message to the governor, feel free to do that for AB 1400. So now let's talk about equity and internships. You see, broad metrics can mask who is in and who is not. That is why disaggregated data is absolutely critical. Although Vision 2030 has identified already populations to focus on, and Dr. Bull mentioned populations, we've got programs like Umoja and Mesa and Puente and so on. We have the Rising Scholars Program, our Student Veterans Program. Vision 2030 also insists that we continue our research and policy work to identify new populations who are disaffected and alienated from higher education. So it's a continuous piece of work. Studies and news reports reveal a real trend. Fewer young men are enrolling in college. Fewer are completing college, and fewer feel that higher education was built for them. There is money stress, mental health challenges, and shifting expectations. All of this play a role in their decisions. Today, men under 25 make up just 27% of the California Community College enrollment. That is where apprenticeships, that is where internships and Service Corps is becoming more central in Vision 2030. The Department of Apprenticeship Standards reports that the majority of building trades apprentices are men. The Vision 2030 Apprenticeship Pathways Demonstration Project is a bold step towards embedding equity into the fabric of workforce education. By combining paid hands-on training with credit-bearing classroom instruction, this initiative, it creates economic mobility for the apprentices. With 25 colleges leading the way, we are building a statewide model that transforms apprenticeships into powerful engines of opportunity, where experience is recognized, learning is accelerated, and futures are built. And the next example that I wanted, The next example I wanted to mention is the California Service Corps program that transforms the student experience by making service a classroom without walls. Through the College Corps, students earn academic credit and are financially supported while addressing real challenges in our communities, from tutoring K-12 schools to advancing climate resilience and to addressing issues like food insecurity, and most recently in the rebuilding and recovery for the LA fires, the College Corps program was tapped into. Their work lifts entire communities. This is education as service, service as purpose, and purpose as power. This work is complex. However, it is consequential. It takes time and it takes attention to details. And yet, the California community colleges are moving with speed and moving with care. And this is exactly the reason why I'm feeling good.
Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel.
So I've got 3 more sections, and when I wrap up, I want to do a Dr. Bull. And I'm going to say, when the music comes on, I want everyone standing up and dancing to the one and only Nina Simone. You with me? Yeah. All right, so then let's roll into section 6. And you know I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk about climate action, right? Because the leadership on climate action belongs to us. We must own it. Vision 2030 sets out 4 interconnected fields of climate practice. One of these is actually community education. It means engaging residents in climate literacy, climate resilience, and real action. For example, we help residents learn how to read air quality maps. They need to understand how water conservation strategies work, and they need to participate in local planning efforts, showing up and also being catalysts for this work. Remember the phrase, trust through presence, right? Alongside this, the other 3 fields are curriculum, embedding climate knowledge and sustainability across programs and disciplines, workforce, developing and preparing students for emerging green careers, and unpacking how these sectors are changing because of regulatory implications within the climate space. Facilities and infrastructure, ensuring our campuses themselves model sustainable practices and climate resilient design. So right after climate, where am I going to go? You know it. AI, okay? Section 7, you ready for AI? Okay, there's lots of parts of AI. In fact, I was going to do a panel with Luis Guerrero from Palomar and Angel Fuentes from San Jose City, but then decided we'll do that another time. So I thought I'll focus just on the AI literacy fluency piece. So we all know that AI is reshaping our world in the workplace, in our communities, and in our daily lives. That means AI literacy and fluency is no longer optional. It's a core skill across every field, and here is the key. Academic freedom allows us to teach AI not as a corporate product, but as civic literacy, how to use it responsibly, ethically, and wisely. And we can do it in 2 ways. We can do it in many ways. I'm going to talk about 2 ways. First, with non-credit and short-term courses, so workers and job seekers can upskill quickly. Second, by embedding AI into every program, from nursing to automotive to journalism, so every student learns how to use these tools with discernment. And discernment is critical. Yeah. It is not enough to know how to prompt. You must also know how to verify, and everyone has heard this, prompt but verify. That's where the 2-source rule comes in. Before we act on an AI claim, we must confirm it with at least 2 independent, credible sources. If AI reports an earthquake, what should we do? We should verify. Maybe check with the USGS website and maybe another trusted news outlet before we sound the alarm or before we repost the initial post. It's the measure twice, cut once rule of the information age, the age of AI. And it will help our students and our communities thrive in a world where truth itself is contested. Right. You ready for the closing? All right, let's do this. At the California Community Colleges, we must stand firmly with our communities and for our communities. This is our work, colleagues, to make sure that communities know that their skills and experiences count, and that credit for prior learning is a faster, more affordable path to completion. This is our work, to connect workers to opportunities through non-credit pathways, dismantling barriers that have kept them from higher education, and making those pathways engines of equity, making those pathways engines of mobility. It is our work and responsibility to demystify artificial intelligence, giving people the skills to separate fact from fiction, to be able to spot deepfakes, and to use AI tools wisely. This is our work, to speak for our foster youth, our incarcerated Californians, our veterans, our students who might be undocumented. For each and every one of our students, we must speak clearly, we must speak firmly, and we must always speak. This is our work. It is our shared promise, our daily practice. It is our collective equity.
I'm feeling good.
So yes, today, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good because I see what is possible when we work together in harmony. I'm feeling good because the California community colleges are building a future that is inclusive, that is equitable, and full of promise within a culture of excellence. And we are not waiting. We are moving with speed. We are moving with care. Our time is now.